question you guys need to make this cocktail. Hey guys, welcome to Feminist Cocktail Hour. It's election night. It's craziness. Hopefully everyone, running the election is more technically apt than I am because I'm, such a disaster. Okay, great. So we're going to get drinking. I imagine some of you are drinking already. What are we drinking so far? Anyone want to shout me out in the chat, tell me? Silence. No one knows what they're drinking. That's okay. I'm going to tell you how to mix up this cocktail. So to make our drink, you're going to need rum. So much rum. You're going to need some mango juice, some lime juice, some triple sec or blue curacao is actually what I'm using, some pineapple juice, some banana liqueur, and I also have some blackberries here. I know it's a crazy list. If you're like, I am interested in making a different drink with what I actually have in my liquor cabinet, if you throw out some of your ingredients, I have my beautiful friend Elise here who helped me figure out how to eventually get online. You want to say hi, Elise? You can see Elise is wearing a shirt that says, "This is what democracy looks like." It's a little ballot there. My shirt says Kamala Harris. And also Joe Biden. I'm wearing my RBG pearls. I'm wearing, my suffragist white. And I'm wearing some socks with llama on them. Because, let me see. Cool. So, the drink we're making tonight is a Rumala Harris. A Rumala Harris is basically a riff on a rum runner. And we should just acknowledge that we may not have the results of tonight's election tonight. We may not have those results tomorrow or by the end of the week. What I'm saying is, even if we get the results, this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Unfortunately, a rum runner is designed for sprinting. There's a lot of booze in it, but you know what? Go big or go home, am I right? Okay, so we have, like I said, all the ingredients. If you're coming in late, because I saw a few more people came in. Rum, club soda, mango, lime, pineapple, banana, and blue curacao. Blue, because we are hoping to get a blue wave tonight, my friends. Fingers crossed. Let's make it happen. So much energy. I try. All the energy's pent up. That's Brian said. Okay, so let's talk about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was born in 1964. Now, we're always going, okay, boomer, to guys like Joe Biden, but actually, Kamala Harris is born in the last year of the baby boom, whereas Joe Biden is technically a member of the silent generation. I'm aware that's a tangent, but this is my stress level. There's going to be some of that. There's going to be some tangenting. Back to Kamala. Kamala, 1964, born in Oakland. Her parents are both immigrants. Her father moved to the Bay Area in 1961 from Jamaica in order to be a graduate student in economics at UC Berkeley, which is where he met Kamala's mother, Shyamala Gopalan, who is also studying at UC Berkeley. She was a graduate student doing medical research on hormone therapy related to hormone receptive breast cancer, specifically progesterone. Now, I know I don't give a shit about that, but I do because I had a progesterone receptive breast cancer. So Shyamala deserves a shout out for me. She was working to make my treatment, easier. Right? Shout out for her. The name Shyamala means blackish blue, which is appropriate because that's the color of this cocktail. It's a blackish blue cocktail. To get that color, we're going to add 3 to 4 blackberries. I'm mixing this up for me and for Elise, so I'm going to put in 6 of them. And we're going to muddle that with We're going to muddle that up with a little bit of lime juice, like a splash. I'm not measuring it, just a splash. Going to get that muddler out. When we muddle berries, guys, we don't have to be cute. We don't have to be sweet. We just smash those motherfuckers up. And I bet a few of you are feeling the desire for that level of release. So you're gonna really smash those motherfucking blackberries. Woo! And then that's blackberries on my face. And then you are going to add in an ounce of pineapple juice. 1 ounce. Give it a shake before you pop it in. It's an ingredient that separates. And then you're going to add in 2 ounces of mango juice. Now, mango is not normally in a rum runner. I added the mango, as a nod to Kamala's Indian heritage. So, Kamala, by the way, her name means lotus. Kamala is also like a nickname for the goddess Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the goddess of joy, of prosperity, of love, of wealth, and of fortune. And I would I would take any one of those in 2020. Any one of those you want to hand it over, I would not kick out of bed. So Kamala went to a Hindu temple as a child and also to a Black Baptist church. Her mother wanted her to grow up with, you know, all of her heritage, embracing all of it. When she was 7 years old, her parents divorced, and ultimately by the time she was in junior high, Kamala moved to Montreal with her mother and her sister when her mother took a job at McGill University while her father was still teaching at Stanford. And from a young age, Kamala, you know, was inspired with a spirit of like activism. She'd visited her grandparents in India, where her grandfather was a high-level member of the Indian government. He had been involved with the Indian Revolution. And her grandmother actually traveled throughout India, going into rural communities, educating women about birth control. So like, this is what Kamala was born to do. In fact, she staged her first protest when she was only 13 years old. It was a protest about a rule in their building complex that forbid children from playing on the lawns. They, by the way, got results with this protest and the rule was rescinded, she and her sister. Kamala ultimately went to Howard University. She was a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She majored in poli-sci and econ, and then she went to California, where she earned her JD. In 1990, she became an ADA in Alameda County. And when she became a prosecutor, her family was like giving her some side eye because, you know, prosecutors don't have like a great reputation. But at the same time, Hillary Clinton was a defender. And we were like all up on her dick about, you know, her record as a lawyer. So basically we're telling women, you know, don't be a prosecutor, don't be a defender, don't be a lawyer, because people will, you know, just think you're a bitch. And am I being reductive in this moment? Yes, I am. I'm not worried about that. I don't care. So Kamala was a prosecutor. Seriously, she decided to become a prosecutor because she felt that this was the best way for her to change the system, like from the inside. She started off by focusing on sex crimes and by reframing the way we look at sex crimes, or the way they were looking at sex crimes in San Francisco, viewing women as victims, not as perpetrators of these crimes. At the time when she was an assistant district attorney, she was also dating the mayor of San Francisco, a guy named Willie Brown. And it's implied in various places that I read that like this may have led her to get better positions within the district attorney's office. I also don't care about that because she was an exceptional lawyer. She was a woman, still is a woman. She's a non-white woman. Surely she was passed over for many opportunities as a result of these factors. If she maybe got a leg up because of her boyfriend, that doesn't bother me. And frankly, I don't understand why every single biography I read of her mentioned this fact, because there's no proof that, like, you know, it benefited her necessarily in any way. But when I say bios, like when I do these, I prepare fast. I'm reading mostly online bios. One of them is always Wikipedia. It's worth noting that her Wikipedia page was edited 408 times in the month of June. In 1 month, it had 408 edits. And this was something that back in June, everyone thought was like a sign that she was going to be the VP pick. Because the same thing, a similar thing, had happened to Tim Kaine in 2016. Do you guys remember Tim Kaine? No, of course you don't, because 2016 was 300 years ago, and Tim Kaine had the personality of wallpaper paste. So obviously, he is not stuck around in your memory. Now, when the editors were cleaning up Kamala's Wikipedia page, they were doing so to remove terms like tough on crime and pulling out some of her more controversial cases that she had when she was DA. Which, yes, eventually, spoiler alert, Kamala becomes the DA in 2003. There was a runoff. She won ultimately with 56% of the vote and became the first Black woman to be a district attorney in the state of California. And I will drink to that. And so can you. Feel free. I'm going to add 2 ounces of rum to my cocktail shaker. It's a strong drink. Normally in a rum runner, you have both dark rum and light rum. I'm going just with light rum, mostly because I want to keep the color blue-ish. It'll be a dark blue though when we get to the end of it. Basically a rum runner, by the way, guys, it's just a bucket of booze. It's just like a lot of alcohol. It's a bucket of freaking rum. Okay. So once you have your rum bucket, you know, pretty solidly filled, we'll get back to Kamala. So when Kamala was the district attorney, the rate of conviction bumped from 52% to 67%. And why? Is it because she was real good at her job? Maybe. Is it because she was too aggressive as a prosecutor? Some people said that too. This is a theme for Kamala. She's often someone who comes down on like two sides of an issue. One of the big things when she was district attorney was her having mixed views on the death penalty. So it was a very controversial choice. She opted not to seek the death penalty for a man in San Francisco who had killed a cop. And Dianne Feinstein, the senator, actually called Kamala out for this. Called her out at the cop's funeral while Dianne was eulogizing him. This elicited a standing ovation from his mourners. Like, pretty dramatic. But then not that long after that, even though Kamala, refused to seek the death penalty in that instance, shortly thereafter, she declined to support ballot initiatives that would have made the death penalty illegal in the state of California. So her position on this was very unclear. But her position in the world of politics was becoming clearer and clearer. In 2010, she decided to run for attorney general. And this was a position that no one thought she was going to win. Her opponent was a Republican who is the district attorney in Los Angeles, a guy named Steve Cooley. He was a white guy who was running in LA. She was a woman of color running super liberal in the Bay Area. Cooley was so confident in his win that he announced himself as victor on election night. 3 weeks later, see, these things take time, is the moral. 3 weeks later, the votes were actually counted, and Kamala came out on top with only a 0.8% margin of victory, right? Sometimes it's close. Let's hope that is not a lesson for tonight. She became the first female AG in California, and she's actually one of only 34 women in our nation's history who have served as state DAs. I know, that shit is bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A-S. And in honor of this banana shit, we're gonna add some banana shit to our cocktail. This banana liqueur is called 99 Bananas. Boop, you see it? It is 99 proof. We need that. You need that. It smells like melted runts. You guys remember runts? I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to pour this whole thing in there because that's about 2 ounces. It smells really banana-y. You should get excited for this, Elise. This is a very full cocktail shaker. I know, there's so much booze. Okay, back to Kamala Harris. So when she was Attorney General, she got out there. She was making a name for herself. She turned down a $4 billion settlement related to the mortgage crisis. She was kind of grandstanding, that's what people said, but ultimately she got a $20 billion settlement for the state of California. She also performed the first gay wedding after Proposition 8 was rescinded in the state of California. Remember Prop 8, like gay marriage was legal in California, and Prop 8 happened in 2008, and then for 5 years it wasn't legal, and then it became legal again, and when it did, Kamala Harris became the first person to marry a gay couple in the state. A year later, when she turned 50, she herself got married to fellow lawyer Doug Emhoff. She became stepmom to his 2 kids who call her Momala, which is super cute. A few places I read said that Doug and Kamala didn't have kids yet. 56 years old, I think she's probably pretty decided on that. But people focus on these kinds of things when we're talking about women. So when she was state AG, she worked to make policing more transparent in the state of California. She created an online system called Open Justice, which allowed people to see the data on people who had been brought into custody, injuries, and incidents related to the death of inmates. Critics have said that it is not very effective in regard to police brutality in spite of innovations like this. And that's pretty clearly seen in her decision to not investigate and prosecute certain incidents where police officers killed Black subjects. I think those critiques are fair. But I still voted for her. Like, I should be clear that I still voted for her. I am still praying to every god I know that she beats that fucking albino weasel and his little pumpkin friend. P.S. How much does Mike Pence look like an albino weasel? Look, I don't have photos, but look at that. Weasel or vice president? It's a striking resemblance, right? Okay, seriously. Back to Kamala. In 2016, thank you, Elise. In 2016, Kamala ran for the Senate. She won. The same kind of blue wave that, again, we are hoping for today. So let's add in our blue Curacao. This is our last ingredient. And guys, I'm getting serious. I'm going to take off my white jacket, not just because I want some, you know, muscle to shake this, but because I'm a little bit afraid of shaking it on my white jacket, and I don't want that. So we're going to add in our ice. If you're mixing along at home, add that ice in there. Boop, 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 boop. How are y'all doing? Thumbs up in the chat? No? Okay, adding in ice, adding in ice. Mallory, it's uncanny. I know. He looks so much like an albino weasel. This is a very, very full cocktail shaker, my friends. Hey, Elise, you want to do me a favor? You want to grab 2 highball glasses from our from my cabinet above the sink? All right, we're going to shake this up just like Kamala shook up the Senate. So Kamala made her name in the Senate by holding members of the Trump administration to account. In her 3.5 minutes, interrogating Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions broke under the pressure. He literally said, I'm not able to be so rushed. I'm getting nervous. I know that poor little sweet thing, that goddamn motherfucker. There are rumors that it was Kamala Harris who made Brett Kavanaugh cry. That's not necessarily factual. I mean, Kamala Harris relentlessly questioned Brett Kavanaugh in the Senate hearings for his confirmation. Brett Kavanaugh did cry. They are not directly linked. And you know what? Frankly, we should not shame a man, for crying in public. We should shame a man for raping women. We should not let men who rape women become Supreme Court justices. We should not let them become our president, right? We should at least all be able to, agree on that, is what I think. That's all I'm saying. See, it's good I took the jacket off. I needed the freedom to. So after these impressive performances by Kamala Harris, she decided to run for president. And you mostly know the rest of the story, right? She ran in a field of highly qualified candidates, and she called it in December when the numbers just weren't there for her. And my mind is blown, guys, because you know what? December wasn't that long ago. It's less than a year ago. It was only 9 months ago that I myself was knocking doors in Iowa for Elizabeth Warren. The very first day when I was knocking doors with other people in Iowa, one of the ladies I was walking with, Kay, she told me that I had to walk like a penguin up the driveways because it had snowed there. It was real icy. Took 2 steps on that first driveway, wiped the fuck out. Fell right on my ass on the ice. Speaking of ice, when you make a tiki drink, you don't want to pour it over cubed ice. You actually want to pour it over crushed ice. The reason is because the dilution of a tiki drink is best, if you have that crushed ice, so it's slowly diluting the drink as you drink it, because tiki drinks tend to be like a rum runner, quite strong. So I imagine that you can see as I put all of my ice onto my bar in this tea towel, where this next section is going. It's how you have to do the ice. Now, tiki drinks, by the way, are not from Polynesia as a person might think they are. Look at that good crushed ice. They are, in fact, from the Bay Area, just like Kamala. Most tiki drinks came out of a specific bar, actually, called Trader Vic's in the Bay Area. Ooh, so much ice. This drink, though, actually came from Key West, a bar in Key West in the key state of Florida that we're all praying we win tonight, right? How sexy would a blue Florida be? The sexiest thing I can think of, right? There's nothing better than a blue Florida. Whatever happens next, whether we turn Florida blue or not, we should note that this is not the end, right? This is the beginning. I'm going to strain this with a real strainer. This drink, by the way, you should see, it is not blue, guys. It is black, straight up black. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Black, cold like my soul. So we're going to give some hope, though. We should hope for the best possible outcome. And even though this is not the end, I feel like we're allowed to celebrate the victories that we have, that we've earned, but we have to promise ourselves to remember that this is not the end. And whoever wins tonight, there is still more work to be done. And we have to do the work better than the people who have come before us. We have to do better work than Republicans and even than generations of Democrats before us. We need to be like this drink. We can't be afraid to be a little too much. We can't be afraid to embrace our strength, our darkness, be like Kamala, kick fucking ass. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm gonna take the drink. It's good. It's really strong. You wanna try it? She's tasting it. I have to thank you though again. Good, strong, banana forward, dark. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm sending you all so much love and peace and serenity. I hope that, you find some time to let out your rage, smashing some ice, muddling some shit. And I'm going to not do some feminist cocktail hours for a while. I'm going to be back like after the holidays. But when I come back, I will have a new lady, hopefully a new president, definitely some new libations. And until then, my darling friends, cheers. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Bye. I love you all. And in the chat. Bye, Mel. Bye, Emma. Cheers.